Hello, guys. Today we have a devastating news. In South Korea, there was a crush. It is when people step on each other in a stampede and people get killed because of that. South Korea Halloween crush. I was trapped on ledge watching people die. So we have a video here. Let's watch it together.
다 거기에서 이제 우르르 우르르 하고 저도 끼어서 못 나가는 상태가 되니까 이거는 진짜 이러다 사고 한번 나겠다.
준비가 부족하고 이제 약간 사람들이 이제 약간 너무 많이 붐비다 보니까 이제 경찰분들이나 보급대원들 고생하시는 건 알지만 좀 준비가 부족한 것 같아요.
It got me like very surprised, like very sad this happened. This is something like we never forget.
아 이거 이게 죄송합니다.
Okay, so there were some vocabulary. First of all, when we talk about alley, an alley is usually a very narrow street where usually only people can go and walk. Usually, cars don't go there. Uh, there was the word a period of mourning. Mourning happens when there's death in the family. Usually you take 3 days to feel sad, to be sad, and to be left alone. So you don't want to go to work, you don't want to have any social activities, and so on. So there is now a national mourning period in South Korea. So this was a tragedy that shouldn't have happened. So this was something avoidable, like some people said that they were not actually prepared. Survivors of the deadly Seoul Halloween crush have been speaking of their horror at watching friends and strangers suffocate in an alleyway as dance music blared into the night. So, blared, the music was very noisy, of course, while people were dying. Suffocate, it is when you don't have enough oxygen to breathe, so you suffocate and die, of course. When crowds thronged the Itaewon district, so they were very walking just behind each other, so like a throng, like a kind of uh, what do we call it? People began pushing from behind. It was like a wave. There was nothing you could do. Said Nuhil Ahmed, I couldn't sleep last night. I can still see people dying in front of me. The 32-year-old who spoke to the BBC on Sunday afternoon said he was caught in the crush and there was nothing anyone could have done to save others or themselves. So it was just pure luck. You stay alive or you die. Distressing videos of the event have spread across social media. Mr. Ahmed himself shared his traumatizing experience on an Instagram. When we have a distressing video or distressing event, it keeps you agitated, it keeps you uh, anxious, and it causes some uh, trauma to you. When we say his traumatizing experience, so he will never forget what he has experienced. The footage shows people, mostly teens in their 20s, packed into a narrow, sloped alley so tightly they couldn't even move. Packed, this is an extreme adjective. We use it when we talk about a crowd. So it was 100% full. There isn't a place for anybody or anything. Some were dragged to the floor, others couldn't breathe. Dragged, it is when you can't move, but somebody tried to pull you and he drags you in this way. Itaewon is one of the most popular neighborhoods in Seoul for a night out. Locals and foreigners flock there every weekend. So, flock, it is when you go in a group, and we have the famous saying, birds of feather flock together. But Halloween is one of the busiest nights of the year. The area was hosting its first unmasked Halloween celebrations since COVID when the disaster happened. So, one disaster finishes and one disaster happens. An estimated 100,000 people came to celebrate there on Saturday for the first time since COVID. Gathering sizes were not limited, and people did not need to wear masks outside. The expected size of the crowd in Itaewon didn't deviate much from the previous years, so I understand that the personnel were deployed at a similar scale as before. So they didn't think that any problem was going to happen, so they had the same number of people working in the area. So look here, actually, many officers were deployed into other areas. So now the president has called for an investigation into the cause of the crash and declared a period of national mourning. Look here. This is the narrow alley, and people came from all three directions into this very small road. So people were crushed and suffocated. People were suffocating, screaming, getting squeezed, falling. There were just too many people. Mr. Ahmed didn't fully realize what had happened until the crowd dispersed and the ambulance arrived. Dispersed, it is when they start going back from where they came, so it's not crowded anymore. And this is Mr. Ahmed. Mr. Ahmed recalled, he remembered what happened. So they tried to help them, but they were already dead. On Sunday morning, relatives and friends of missing people turned up to the scene looking for clues to reveal whether their loved ones were there. But the bodies had been moved from the street into a gymnasium for family members to identify them. So their parents came, their family came when those people didn't come back home, and now they need to identify the bodies. Real tragedy. Hope this never happens to you or of your any loved ones. This is it for today of Daily English. See you in another video.